Thank you for that amazing song. My name is Rosie Paulsen, and I'm the owner of Rosie Paulsen Enterprises and SNR Services. I am a commissioner, a public speaker, a Medicare insurance broker, and in 2020, I became a published author of the book, Ñeque, The Mindset to Get What You Want. My brand promise is knowledge, connection, success. There's two things I want to leave you with today in this wonderful time that we got to spend together. Each of us have Ñeque or grit within each of us. And the second one is your Ñeque is only as stronger as your purpose or your why. Have you ever had that feeling that you landed in the wrong place, that you are an outsider, and that everything around you, it just does not make sense? Many of us go through life thinking, this is the way it is. There's nothing I can do about it. But then there's people, what Steve Jobs quotes, the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world. Those are the ones that do. The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are those ones who do. In my native country of Ecuador 35 years ago, there were girls' sports and boys' sports. Football, known as soccer here in the United States, was a boys' sport. Have you ever felt there was something more in you? That what people told you you can achieve or accomplish, that back that everybody tried to pull you. Have you ever felt you were good at something? Can you remember what that was? I was a great point guard as a basketball playing girls sport, catching, dribbling, and passing the ball with my hands. What I have done since I joined my school team at 11 years old, I knew how to do that. My father started to coach a soccer team and immediately recruited me and my sister. Now, my sister was a great offensive player, but I was just a good basketball player, and dominating the ball with my legs was really not my strong suit. My father, in his wisdom, made me a goalie. Now, a goalie's job is to stop the other team from scoring the goal. And to me, catching the ball was a no-brainer. I've been doing it since 11 years old. But see, what my father did was frowned upon 35 years ago because soccer was not a girl's sport. So since I was little, I always have to argue and work my way into being into the team. But since also a goalie was such a coveted position, I also have to hone those skills and prove myself over and over to my friends. Now, one day I was 10 years old and I was ready to go into the soccer field and argue my way into leadership this team into my soccer goalie position. But what I saw was beautiful. What I saw next changed my world forever. All of the boys were playing with this blonde-headed, green-eyed girl. I said, they're all playing with a niña, with a girl? For a moment, I felt rejected and a little confused. But that's when I understood I was a die-hard optimistic. And I asked my friend Santiago why they were all playing with her with no regards, accepting her as one of her own and embracing her. And then Santiago said a key word. She's an American, he said. I immediately befriended her because I have to know what being an American was all about. Once I did, she mentioned to me that she was a missionary from the United States and her family moved to our country to share the gospel of Jesus Christ. and that in America, girls can do anything they put their mind into. So I run back to my house and I told my mother, all right, I got all this taken care of. If I'm to play football or soccer with no regards and with no problems, I have to move to America and I have to meet this guy named Jesus. And then everything will work for me. Now that was at 10 years old. At 12, my parents, with a lot of effort, gave me my first trip to the United States. And I visited the New York City, and I remember learning the subway system within 3 days. And I also was able to learn a little bit of the English language. But I knew in my heart of hearts, I was an American born in the wrong place. So we stayed here for about a month. And on my way back in the trip, I kept crying. And I kept saying, America, you have not heard the last of Rosie. For the next 5 years, I had a goal. And that goal was to come to live in the greatest country in the world. At 17, my sister and I moved here. And I'm telling you, it has not been easy. However, I was able to adapt culturally with also my language. And today, my family and I are grateful for the greatest opportunity we had to move into this country. My brother is an engineer. My sister works for a dentist office, a pediatrician dentist office. Both of my parents are retired teachers. We all are assets to society. And I am an entrepreneur. Since 2009, I have built not one, not two, but 3 thriving, successful, and profitable businesses. And now I teach others how to do the same. And that is because I have embraced what is called Ñeque, which is a Quechua word that means grit and resilience. It's that inner strength that we all have because our purpose and our why is so strong. It's that strength that will get you going every single day and do it again. It's a discipline of your mind, that understanding that you need to put yourself first, and that a long-term commitment takes one step in front of the other. And there's going to be some days that you are not going to feel like doing what you're supposed to do, but your discipline and your Ñeque will get you to do it again, because the vision is clear, what you want to accomplish. I changed people's lives by giving them an unbiased solution to their Medicare needs, because that's my passion. I want to see people's lives impacted. So there's going to be some days that I don't feel like getting out of the house. However, I know somebody needs my help, and that inner strength makes me get ready, get my keys, and get out the door. So my friends, you just have to embrace your purpose. Have you know what your purpose is? Clarity gives you power. If you do not know what your purpose is, many of these ladies today will teach you that. And as a leader, you need to start with that, because as a leader, your job is to inspire others to be the best that they can be. Your job is not to micromanage or to tell them what to do. It's just to be an inspirer. But in order to be an inspirer, you have to know what your purpose is, and your purpose has to be very strong. So when you find your purpose, you persist with your Ñeque. You will persevere in whatever your goal is, and you will pivot into what your next step is. Now, pivot is a very common word after the pandemic, but when I wrote my book, that word was not as successful, as known as it is today. So my friends, today I encourage you to find your Ñeque. If you're stuck doing something that you're not liking to do, I encourage you to pivot into a thriving, successful, and profitable life. Stay pure, stay positive, and stay inspired. This is Rosie Paulsen from Tampa, Florida. Ciao.